Have you ever looked in the mirror and asked yourself, why can't I have what others have? Have you ever felt that tightness in your chest watching someone else's success? If you're watching this video, it's because something inside you is screaming for change. Drop a comment. When was the last time you compared yourself to someone and felt bad about it? Let's be honest here. One of the quietest pains we carry is this: the cursed habit of comparing ourselves to others. We live in an era where this has become an epidemic. Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, everyone's flaunting their achievements, their trips, their brand new cars. And there you are in your room, feeling like your life is a complete failure. But today I'm going to tell you a story that will completely change how you see this. A story about a young man named Ethan who discovered the secret not only to stop suffering, but to achieve a level of prosperity he never even imagined was possible. Listen closely. Every word of this story could be a turning point in your financial and personal life. So stick with me until the end, because what you're about to discover could be worth millions in your bank account. There was a small village near a big city surrounded by a dense, mysterious forest. In this village lived Ethan, a 23-year-old young man. He wasn't lazy, far from it. He woke up early, worked hard at his family's small market, and studied at night. But there was a problem. Ethan was living in the hell of comparison. When he saw his cousin Marcus posting pictures of his new downtown apartment, Ethan felt a pang in his chest. Why does he get to have that and I don't? When he saw his former classmate Sophia announcing her promotion at a multinational company, Ethan would stew for days. She wasn't even one of the smartest in our class. And the worst part, his childhood best friend Diego had started a digital marketing company and was earning more in a month than Ethan made in an entire year. Man, how is this possible? Ethan would ask himself every night, staring at the ceiling of his tiny room. This obsession was destroying Ethan from the inside. He couldn't sleep properly anymore. He'd wake up already thinking about what others were achieving while he was stuck. His work performance tanked. His relationships grew tense because he was always irritable, constantly feeling like a failure. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt this way? That everyone else is getting ahead except you? Comment below if you've been through this. One day, something happened that would change Ethan's life forever. A different kind of man arrived in the village. He wasn't young, didn't seem rich, but there was something about him that drew attention. Everyone called him Grandpa Joachim. He had a special energy, you know? When he spoke, people stopped to listen. Ethan was in a terrible crisis that day. He had just seen Diego posting pictures of his new house, a mansion with a pool. Ethan was sitting in the village square, head in his hands, when Grandpa Joachim approached. "Mind if I sit here, young man?" Ethan looked up, a bit annoyed. "Sure, it's public." Grandpa Joachim smiled. "You look like you're carrying the weight of the world. Want to talk about it?" And so Ethan poured his heart out. He talked about the envy, the frustration, how he felt like a complete loser. Grandpa Joachim listened silently, nodding. When Ethan finished, Grandpa Joachim said something strange. "Do you want to discover the secret to true prosperity? Meet me tomorrow morning at the oldest tree in the forest. But only come if you're truly ready to change your life completely." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. What was that weird conversation? He thought, but something inside him said, "Go. What do you have to lose?" The next morning, Ethan walked through the forest until he found the massive tree. Grandpa Joachim was already there, as if he'd spent the night. "You're early. Good sign," said the old man. "Now tell me, what do you see around you?" Ethan looked and saw dozens of different trees. "I see trees?" "Describe them better." "Well, some are tall, others short. Some have fruit, others don't. Some have flowers, others just leaves." Grandpa Joachim nodded. "Perfect. Now answer me this. Have you ever seen an apple tree complaining because it's not as tall as a eucalyptus? Or a eucalyptus sulking because it doesn't bear sweet fruit like an apple tree?" Ethan laughed. "Of course not, that'd be ridiculous." "Exactly. It would be ridiculous. but that's exactly what you do every day. And there came the first paradigm shift in Ethan's mind. He realized he was wasting precious energy, wishing to be someone else when he could be investing that energy in discovering who he really was. But Grandpa Joachim wasn't done. "Come with me," he said, walking toward a crystal-clear lake. At the lake, fish swam peacefully. In the sky, birds flew in formation. "Ethan, imagine if that fish decided it wanted to fly like that bird. What would happen?" "It'd drown in the air," Ethan replied, starting to get it. "Exactly. And if the bird tried to live underwater like the fish, it'd drown in the, water." "Perfect. Each has its own element, its own gift, its own path. The fish can cross entire oceans. The bird can explore entire continents, but only if each focuses on what it does best." Here's the second paradigm shift, folks. Ethan realized that comparison isn't just foolish, it's the suicide of your potential. Every minute you spend wishing to be someone else is a minute you steal from your own growth. Comment below. What's your element? What do you naturally do well? But the conversation wasn't over. Grandpa Joachim took Ethan to a hill overlooking the entire village. "Ethan, tell me something. Your friend Diego, the digital marketing guy, was he always good at sales?" Ethan thought about it. "Actually, yeah. Even as a kid, he could convince anyone of anything. He sold stickers, sold candies at school." "And your cousin Sophia, was she always organized and disciplined?" "Since she was little. Her room was always tidy, she was never late for anything." "And your cousin Marcus, was he always good with numbers and investments?" "Oh yeah, he was saving money since he was 10, always talking about stocks and stuff." Grandpa Joachim smiled. "So tell me, why do you think they're successful? Because they're following their natural talents?" "Exactly. They didn't become successes overnight. They just stopped fighting their own nature and started working with it." And there came the third paradigm shift. Ethan realized that success isn't about being better than others. It's about being the best version of yourself. But Grandpa Joachim had more to teach. "Now tell me, what are your natural talents?" Ethan fell silent. He realized he'd never seriously thought about it. I don't know. Think hard. What have people always praised you for? What do you do effortlessly that others find difficult?" Ethan started to recall. "Well, people always said I explained things simply. In school, classmates always asked me to explain the material. At work, when someone doesn't understand a process, they call me, 'Go on.' And I've always been good at solving problems. When something breaks at home, I figure out how to fix it. When there's a mess, people come to me to mediate. More? And I like helping people. I've always liked it, even when I don't gain anything from it." Grandpa Joachim clapped his hands. "There you go. You have a rare talent, simplifying the complex, solving problems, and genuinely helping people. Do you know what that means?" Ethan shook his head. "It means you're perfect for teaching, consulting, creating solutions. Instead of envying others' success, why not use your skills to create your own success?" And here, folks, came the fourth paradigm shift. Ethan discovered that his flaws were actually his greatest assets. He always thought he was slow because he liked to explain things in detail. In reality, that was a gift for teaching. He thought he was nosy because he liked solving problems. In reality, that was a talent for consulting. Comment below. What flaw of yours might actually be a hidden talent? But Ethan's transformation was just beginning. Grandpa Joachim took him back to the village and said, "Now you're going to do an exercise for 30 days. Every day, instead of looking at what others are doing, you'll focus on developing one of your talents. Pick one and dedicate an hour to it every day." Ethan chose his ability to simplify complex concepts. He started making videos explaining everyday things from the village: how to plant, how to care for animals, how to solve household problems. At first, almost no one watched. Ethan filmed with an old phone, edited simply, but he persisted. Every day, 1 hour developing that talent, and something magical started to happen. People in the village began seeking him out more. "Ethan, you explain better than any teacher," they said. "You have a gift for this." Comment if you're starting to see where this is going. After 2 months, Ethan had a small online audience. It wasn't much, but the people who watched were truly engaged, asking questions, sharing his content. That's when Grandpa Joachim returned with the most powerful lesson of all. "Ethan, you've discovered your talent. Now you need to learn how to turn that talent into financial abundance." How? Simple. People pay for solutions to their problems. You're excellent at simplifying solutions. Connect the two. Ethan started offering online consulting for people struggling in areas he excelled at. He began charging low rates, but he noticed people were genuinely grateful for the results. Within 6 months, Ethan was earning more from his online consulting than he did at the family market. In a year, he was earning triple. But the most incredible thing wasn't the money, it was the feeling. Ethan woke up excited every day. He had purpose. He no longer thought about Diego, Sophia, or Marcus. He was too busy building his own journey. Comment below. Can you feel the difference in energy? That's the difference between envy and purpose. But the story doesn't end here. 2 years after his transformation, something unexpected happened. Diego, his digital marketing friend, reached out to Ethan. "Man, I'm in a crisis," Diego said. "My company's making money, but I'm miserable. I see you posting about your projects, and it feels like you found something I've lost." Ethan could hardly believe it. The same Diego he used to envy was now asking him for help. "What happened?" Ethan asked. "I don't know, man. I built this company just to make money, to impress others. It worked financially, but I have no purpose. I wake up every day thinking, is this it? You seem to have found something more." And there, Ethan understood the 5th paradigm shift. True prosperity isn't just money. It's money plus purpose, plus personal fulfillment. Many people have money and are miserable. Others have purpose but are financially unstable. The magic happens when you combine the two. Ethan helped Diego find his true purpose, using his marketing skills for causes that truly mattered to him. Diego restructured his entire company and, interestingly, started making even more money, because now he was aligned with his values. Comment if you're seeing the incredible plot twist in this story. 3 years after his conversation with Grandpa Joachim, Ethan had built an online consulting and education business that was earning 6 figures a month. He was no longer the frustrated young man comparing himself to everyone. He was a fulfilled entrepreneur helping others find their own paths. And the most incredible part? One day, Ethan returned to the forest tree to thank Grandpa Joachim, but he found no one there. He asked around the village about him, and shockingly, no one remembered a Grandpa Joachim. Maybe it was your imagination, some said. Or maybe a wanderer who passed through, others suggested. Ethan never knew if Grandpa Joachim was real or a manifestation of his own inner wisdom. But it didn't matter. The lessons were real. The transformation was real. The prosperity was real. Today, Ethan is invited to speak at companies and universities about how to turn talent into abundance. And every time he tells his story, he ends with this reflection. Comparison is the killer of prosperity. While you're looking at other people's lives, your own life is passing you by unnoticed. Every person you envy has a unique combination of talents, opportunities, challenges, and timing that will never be the same as yours. The fish that wants to fly will never discover it can cross entire oceans. The bird that wants to swim will never discover it can explore entire continents. Your prosperity, financial, emotional, spiritual, is hidden within the talents you already have. Stop looking outside. Start digging within. And to wrap it up, he always shares this metaphor. The sun and the moon never compete with each other. Each shines in its own moment, in its own way, with its own unique purpose. The sun isn't jealous because the moon is romantic. The moon isn't jealous because the sun is brighter. Each knows it's irreplaceable in its role. When you stop wanting to be the sun when you're the moon, or the moon when you're the sun, you'll discover that you're a unique star with a light only you can shine. Now let me ask you directly, after hearing this story, what's changed in your perspective? Can you identify your own unique light? Comment below with the biggest insight you got from this story. And if you know someone struggling with comparisons, share this video. It might be exactly what they need to hear today. Remember, your prosperity isn't competing with anyone else's. It's waiting for you to stop looking sideways and start looking inward. If you've made it this far, it's because something in this story touched you. It means you're ready for your own transformation. The first step is recognizing your unique talents. The second is stopping wasting them by comparing yourself to others. The third is building your prosperity from them. Now it's your turn. What's the first step you'll take to break free from the prison of comparison and step into the palace of your own prosperity? Comment, share, and we'll see you in the next video with more stories that could transform your financial and personal life forever.